Dostyk is one of the key road border crossings between Kazakhstan and China. Located in the Alakol district, it lies along the historic route of the Great Silk Road. Today, Dostyk functions as a modern logistics hub, featuring a digital queuing system, an auto hub, and 24/7 monitoring. Our part is focused on transit potential. Around 98% of all vehicles passing through carry transit cargo. This project has been implemented exclusively in the Dostyk region. If it proves effective, it will be rolled out to other checkpoints across the country. We mostly load up in China, then we travel in transit through Kazakhstan. Sometimes we unload in Russia or continue all the way to Belarus. Dostyk is a first-class international border station between China and Kazakhstan. It functions as a major transport corridor linking Europe and Asia. Today we highlight two of the most important points along the border: Dostyk railway station and the Alakol customs post. These are gateways for goods crossing the Eurasian continent, a strategic corridor where rail, road, and the economic interests of entire regions converge. On Kazakhstan's railway map, this is a strategic location. Dostyk station is the largest border rail hub on the Kazakh-Chinese border. It is from here that goods ascend deep into Eurasia. The neighboring Chinese station, Alakol, is directly connected to Dostyk, and together they form part of the international transport corridor Western Europe, Western China. The station's history began in 1954, when it served as a border outpost of the former Soviet Union. Today it is a critical geopolitical node, providing direct rail connectivity between Kazakhstan and China.
Станция Достык является внеклассной пограничной станцией между Китаем и Казахстаном.
Dostyk is a first-class international border station between China and Kazakhstan. It functions as a major transport corridor linking Europe and Asia. The station's primary strength lies in container train operations.
Имеется на сегодняшний день 4 приемо-отправочных путей и 14.
Currently, Dostyk has 4 arrival-departure tracks and 14 transshipment terminals. I'd like to highlight 4 of them in particular: continental service, ETT Dostyk, Dostyk Trans Terminal, and the Dostyk Cargo Service, which handle container transfers. After transshipment, the containers are sent to European countries. With a rising volume of freight, Dostyk is undergoing active development, including the construction of a new 3-story signaling post, a double-track section between Dostyk and Alakol, a customs yard, and both narrow and broad-gauge rail lines.
Таможенного парка, строительства одного узкого и широкой колеи.
Narrow and broad gauge refer to the difference between Chinese and Kazakh railway standards. Chinese trains arrive on narrow gauge tracks and stop at Dostyk, where containers are transferred to trains with broad gauge tracks for further transport across Kazakhstan and onward to Europe. The station features 14 transshipment terminals, but 4 of them play the most vital role.
Хочу особо отметить 4 перегрузочных терминалов, которые перегружают контейнерные поезда.
Let me highlight 4 key container transshipment terminals. First is Terminal 4, an open-air terminal operated by continental service, which handles up to 8 container trains per day, with a daily capacity of 1,000 containers.
Вместимость контейнеров 1000 контейнеров. Второй терминал у нас ЕТТ Достык. Достык имеется 4.
Second is the ETT Dostyk terminal, which has 6 narrow gauge and 3 broad gauge tracks. It also handles 8 container trains per day, with a capacity of 1,200 containers.
Третий терминал у нас Dostyk Cargo Service.
Third is Dostyk Cargo Service. This terminal includes 14 tracks, 5 narrow gauge and 9 broad gauge, and manages up to 5 train loads of containers daily.
По 5 составов поездов.
The modern Eurotransit rail terminal in Dostyk covers 18 hectares and is one of the key points along the new Silk Road route. It's equipped with 2 powerful Finnish cranes, each capable of lifting up to 41 tons. The terminal can handle up to 600 containers and service up to 16 trains per day. Currently, concrete laying and railway expansions works are underway, all aimed at increasing the facility's throughput capacity. We have installed 2 Finnish gantry cranes, each with a lifting capacity of 41 tons. We also use 45-ton reach stackers to load and unload containers. The terminal has a total storage capacity of 6,000 TEUs. Currently, 1,800 containers are being stored on site, all in transit mode. We operate with 3 tracks for broad gauge and 3 for narrow gauge.
We plan to begin shipping special equipment and passenger vehicles. Loaders work under the supervision of checkpoint security and are monitored by video surveillance. There is more access for oversight by the State Revenue Committee and our own management. We provide full support from logistics personnel to terminal-wide operations. The terminal employs 248 people, including rotational workers and administrative staff, on a 5-day schedule. Meals are provided 3 times a day. We also plan to expand modular housing, dormitories, and build a gym and full sports complex.
The terminal's key feature is that it handles exclusively transit cargo. A temporary storage warehouse operates on-site, with capacity for up to 12 containers under customs supervision. We're not informed on the contents inside each container, only their destinations. Most cargo that passes through the station is for export, but no goods are loaded for export here. It's purely transit. Containers arrive via narrow gauge rail and are transferred here. In addition to containers, we're expanding to handle other types of cargo, including vehicles. We can store up to 4,500 cars at once, alongside 6,000 TEUs. The terminal is equipped to unload cars from platforms, transfer them, and dispatch further. In Kazakhstan's east lies a critical artery. The rail connection between Dostyk and Alakol is more than a border crossing. It's a symbol of close partnership between Kazakhstan and China. In 2024, the corridor reached a record throughput of 18,200,000 tons. The target for 2025 is 20,300,000 tons, an increase of over 11%.
Имеется 4 приемо-отправочных парков. Это первый парк.
There are 4 receiving and dispatch yards. The T yard is a customs yard. The D yard handles narrow gauge traffic, 1,435 millimeters, to and from China.
Прием и отправление на КНР. Третий парк у нас является В-парк для приема отправления пассажирских поездов.
The V yard is for passenger train operations, and the A yard handles broad gauge trains arriving from or departing toward Beskol, including outgoing export trains headed to China.
Отправление по широкой колее экспорта в сторону КНР.
A vital link in the region's logistics chain is the Alakol customs post. A new facility has recently been built, along with an electronic queuing system. A dedicated auto hub for freight vehicles is now in operation. Once a remote and windswept checkpoint, it's now a modern border crossing with high capacity and advanced infrastructure.
таможенный пост Alakol был открыт приказом агентства.
The Alakol customs post was officially opened on June 1st, 2005 by a decree of the Customs Control Agency. As part of a broader modernization of Kazakhstan's border infrastructure, both road and rail, the post has been upgraded to meet the standards of the Eurasian Economic Union's external border. Today the post can handle up to 800 vehicles per day in both directions with 6 traffic lanes. We are focused on transit potential. 98% of all vehicles we process carry transit cargo.
Перемещаемых автотранспортных средств это транзитные грузы.
The Alakol customs post is one of the largest on Kazakhstan's eastern border, with a capacity of up to 800 trucks and nearly 20,000 passengers daily. It operates 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. The post uses an integrated control system. Drivers don't even need to leave their vehicles. All documentation is submitted electronically and automatically routed to the relevant authorities. The process is faster, more efficient, and fully monitored by customs officers. When a freight vehicle arrives at the electronic checkpoint from the People's Republic of China, it registers in the system. We scan the electronic shipment documents, typically the invoice, packing list, CMR or waybill. The vehicle itself is also scanned. Its weight, dimensions, and axle loads are recorded and analyzed. Once reviewed, the documents are processed and passed on. After that, the vehicle goes through transport control and continues on its journey. Several services operate simultaneously at the post, including border control, phytosanitary inspection, veterinary services, and quarantine units. All of this ensures the safe and efficient crossing of both cargo and passengers.
2023 жылдан бастап Dostyk өткізу пунктінде электрондық жүйе жұмыс істеп жатыр.
Since 2023, the Dostyk checkpoint has operated using an electronic queuing system. Thanks to this innovation, trucks entering China move through without congestion. They are pre-registered and assigned slots in advance.
Пайдалануға берілді. Қазіргі таңда мемлекеттік кірістер комитетінің пилоттық жобасы бойынша көліктер Қытайға.
This auto hub at Dostyk was developed through private investment by Dostyk Auto Hub LLP. As part of a pilot project by the State Revenue Committee, trucks now assemble at a designated holding area before crossing the border. On the day of transit, they are sent in groups of 50 to the checkpoint. The system is currently active only in the Dostyk region, but if it proves successful, it could be expanded to other checkpoints across Kazakhstan.
Енгізуге мүмкіншілік беріледі.
The auto hub can accommodate thousands of trucks at once. For drivers, all essential facilities are available, something confirmed by Anatoly Voivodin, a trucker with over 20 years of experience who frequently travels between China and Belarus.
На данный момент движение
Right now I'm traveling the Belarus-Kazakhstan-China route. My truck is currently empty, and I'm parked at the Dostyk checkpoint. Compared to previous years, the conditions have improved significantly. The holding area is much larger, and we now have an electronic queuing system. It's very convenient. There is no pushing, no arguments with other drivers. Vehicles enter the checkpoint step by step, and everything is released in an orderly manner. The parking area is secure, and all essential services are available. Restrooms, showers, clean water and food. Everything a driver needs is here and at a good standard.
Что, соответственно, здесь на лучшем уровне. С грузом, значит, необходимо предоставить сразу досмотр, паспортный контроль.
When transporting goods, we go through inspections, passport control and customs checks. Documents like the CMR, invoice and packing list are all verified.
Процедуры таможенные. И в дальнейшем отметка талона выездного, и выезжаешь за пределы территории Казахстана. Мы ездим без нарушений, то есть соблюдаем режим труда и отдыха. Есть такая...
After customs clearance, the truck is cleared for departure. We strictly follow rest and driving regulations. So with daily stops, the journey to the border typically takes about 7 days. Before crossing, we book a time slot, just like when entering China. As for the Belarus-Russia border, it's open. There is no need for an electronic queue yet. But even with high traffic, we move through gradually and without issues.
Постепенно, то есть проходим без проблем. Вот. Ну, пока процедуру такой нам не вводили, как электронная очередь. Беларусь и Россия, свободное пространство, поэтому вопросов нет.
Anatoly transports everything from auto parts and industrial equipment to specialized machinery from China. But to hold perishable goods like fruits and vegetables, you need to refrigerate a truck. He believes more hubs like the one in Dostyk are urgently needed. For someone who spends most of their life on the road, quality roadside infrastructure is not a luxury, it's a necessity.
Самое важное это, чтобы были побольше таких вот комплексов, где можно...
What's most important is having more hubs like this, places where you can park safely, knowing no one will tamper with your fuel or trailer, knowing the site is secure, that you'll have access to a cafe, water, a restroom, and a hot shower. That matters. And this facility has everything a driver needs. It's excellent.
Ну и питание, скажем так. А здесь комплекс шикарный, то есть все, то, что вот надо для водителя, здесь все есть.
Today, our journey takes us through two key hubs on the Kazakh-Chinese border, Dostyk railway station and the Alakol customs post. Working in tandem, one receives cargo by rail, while the other processes road freight. Together, they form a vital transit corridor through which thousands of tons of goods flow across Eurasia. Here, routes, interests, and logistics from two continents come together.